Okay, let's go again. So that was a lot of fun, that Marshall Gambit. I wonder if we can. Okay, let's watch the GM game while we're waiting. Musebach is still playing. There's Terran Ozar Avra. I don't know. Let's observe him anyway. Oh, he's not playing anyway. So let's go back to Musebach. Okay. F5 looks a bit vulnerable. So how did this emerge? Slav, rather semi-Slav, and yes, classic E5. Yes, getting the bishop active. Yes, looks as though disaster struck here, losing a piece. Ouch. What is going on here? But it's only a 3-minute game. It doesn't matter about being a piece down in 3-minute chess. There's pressure on the dark squares, and it's easier to play, I think, for black here, with this E3 being painfully weak. I suspect black is going to win this, actually, even though piece down. It's got a bit more time. I think it's easier for white to be complacent. There's also huge dangers now on that diagonal. So queen c5 check? Oh no. It could pick up a second pawn now on d5. I still favour black. Okay. Jakuba 27. Ah. Okay. I'll play the From's Gambit against the Birds opening. And the quick g5. It fascinated me when I first saw International Master Peter Large play this in what? I just played Bishop d7 here. That's not theory. Bishop. What? Oh, he plays Queen e4, 97. I don't know. I seem to be getting a lot of development here. So knight e7. Then the knight moves. Then knight g5, bishop c6. I hope I'm not in for something nasty here. Queen b7 as bishop c6. Actually h6 if knight g5. I don't know, knight h7, crazy like the game. Or bishop f5 as knight f6. Well, bishop f5 first, queen b7, knight bc6. We're just trying to get rid of that knight, which is one of his few developed pieces. If I play just knight bc6, just try and get rid of that knight without getting in too much trouble. I can't believe this check. Oh no, I can't believe this. I'm tempted just to take with the bishop. Shall I take with the pawn? Let's keep my g4 and get the b file. So I take with the bishop or the pawn. I think it has to be the pawn. So there's bishop f5 and queen d7. If I just castle, there's f5, maybe. Well, it could be tricky. So castle, bishop g2. Or should I play? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to castle. So f5 or bishop f5. Bishop f5. Actually, f5 has got f4 going for it. So I think I'll do that. And knight g6 and f4. So even if he castles on the king side, there's a bit of a battering ram going on, but okay, my king's a little bit exposed. What about rook f7? Going into a pin. You might have a point here, indeed. Knight g6, bishop c6, there's knight e5. So I think knight g6 here. So knight e5. Just to get rid of this pin, which is quite annoying. And then... okay, I'll get rid of the pin. So there's rook b out on queen b3. I just want to get rid of the pin first before doing anything else. h5, h4 springs to mind. h5, h4 tells h pawn attacks. Queen e7 and c5 if queen d4. Queen e7 threatens bishop c5, queen d4, bishop queen e7. If queen f4, there's knight f4. Queen b3, rook b1. c5 here if I want it. I think c5 could be handy, just to ask where that queen's going. Weakens d5, forget that. So maybe just proceed with h5, h4. I don't think there's anything problematic going on. d4, knight g6, bishop c6. Apart from that, could try and get rid of that light square bishop and play c5. Say the queen does go back, then bishop c6. Probably that's best, actually. I'll go for that. Try and weaken this king, get the queen on this diagonal, get the other rook in, maybe for f4. So bishop c6, it would take, still be looking forward to f4 actually, and that's good to have control a bit more of f4 there. So in fact here, I don't know, an exchange sack might be fun as well, just to weaken those light squares. Is he going to accept that exchange sack? Then maybe h5, h4, h3. That would remind me of this short Kasparov getting pawns like form pawns to h3 in the Sicilian. But I like a queen on a8, that would be quite exciting. I like pointing into the king from just a8. Dynamic stuff. I remember this Carl Bowden, I remember a club match. Carl Bowden was playing one of King's Head's strong players. I think a File Master, and he had a queen on a8. It was quite crushing attack. I do have these vivid memories sometimes of these dynamic attacks that I've seen in the past. It's FM or IM that used to play for King's Head, who looked a bit like Mestel. Wasn't GM Mestel. Okay. Oh dear, oh dear. That's not how I wanted to lose the exchange, particularly. So, am I in big trouble here? Is he going to win that exchange? What rook can I tempt him with? If I play c6, is it tempting? Or king g7 just to prompt... I think king g7 just to prompt him taking that, otherwise not bothering. I can move the rook after, if he doesn't. So if he does try and hijack this diagonal, mind you, there's e4 here, and that could be particularly unpleasant. There's f4 to counter that now. And there's queen h4 coming in. If he does play takes. Was f3 here? Okay. Doesn't look so bad. Or does it? Probably it is bad. Bishop e6. It seems potentially it could be easier to play this position for me if I can get to play bishop e6. Bishop takes, maybe knight e5. That'll be a strong knight on e5. Aha. Undouble the pawns here. I will do. Maybe bishop b5. Looks like there's pressure on the centre. In fact, bishop takes g3, takes queen d4. Oh, there's queen f5 coming in. Okay, I better move this back. I should really slow down here and really work out queen f5 check. I need to spend a bit of this time, I think. Too quick. Just because it's a forcing move doesn't mean I have to react too quickly. But I suppose there weren't too many squares, and there's bishop e5, but there's queen f5, there's bishop f6 there. So that could have been good, because oh dear. Alright, d4's on. So there's e6 crushing, there's queen d4, there's bishop e3. Okay. Put the king back on g7 now. I think. King g7 or king h8. King g7, or he's tied down anyway because of the knight. So I think king g7 might be okay. I'll try king g7. So he's faced with an issue on d4 here. Is bishop d7 also trying to almost win the queen? Bishop d7. Where does the queen go? d5. There's rook b5 after that. Where does the queen go? To e4. So at the moment my g4 is on. I could protect it with h5. I think I'll do that. I think I'll play h5. I can't see anything. Bishop d7 to run that through again. Queen d5. Don't really think that helps, does it? So h5 or h5, queen f5, bishop c4. I think h5 it is. If d5, I think bishop d7 almost traps the queen as queen a6. Okay, well, it's bishop c4 if d5. Okay. So, bishop g5 here. If he wants to exchange off queens, well, I've got a pawn there. It's bishop d7, queen d5. Queen e8 for bishop c6. Actually, that looks fairly tempting. I'll go for that. If I can get on that diagonal, bishop c6. So queen e8 looks tempting. Yep. Mind you, e6, and he could win h5. So, yes. This could be getting bad, but bishop c6 does support f3. So e6, bishop c6, queen takes. He had queen g4. Okay, so he's missed his chance for that. So bishop c6 it is, I think, now. And this is rook b5. Anything stronger? Try and slow down again. Bishop c6, queen e6. Queen c4, and there's bishop b5. Rook b5, there's queen c4. I think bishop c6 is logical for the diagonal. Maybe queen e6, there's rook b6. What about rook b5 here for bishop d5? Rook b5 just to stop d5. Well, rook d8 is easier to achieve the same thing. Rook c1, bishop d5. Queen moves, I can think about it after. For c7. Rook c1, bishop d5. Queen moves. Oh, he's got queen f5. Yes, this seems tricky. Queen h8 if I want to protect h5. Rook c1. Knight h4 is out of the question. Queen h8. Rook c1, say. Bishop d7. What about bishop d7 anyway? Just offering h5 for a moment. Queen f7. And I can play rook h8. And he's on h6, can't allow that. I think this is going downhill actually, this position. So I think queen h8, rook c1, maybe bishop d7 and there's e6. It is going downhill. What about, okay, queen h8, rook c1, rook f8, queen moves. There might be the possibility of no, I don't believe this position actually. This is f2, try and get a queen on here, bishop a8, queen h5, queen c6 to threaten f2. I'm going to play bishop. Bishop here. So a little cheapo time. I thought he should have played rook c1 if he doesn't want me to play queen c6. So f2 could be dangerous. It's queen h6 or bishop h6. Oh dear. The queen's protecting g6, so I can actually move that, thankfully. So f2 might be a threat. He plays rook f2, rook h8, queen g4. It looks like end of game for me actually. Shame. From a promising opening initiative. Okay, let's actually rook f2. There's no rook c1. Let's be a little bit more optimistic here. If he plays rook f2, there's no rook c1. Bishop h6, queen h6 is not that dangerous at the moment. Knight e4, I just take. I'm actually threatening f2. If rook f2, there's queen h1. If king takes, queen g2, king e1. Maybe bishop b4 at some point if the knight wasn't there. Maybe rook f8, and there's bishop h6. What about rook h8? It's queen g4. Queen g4, that's a problem. Yeah. Okay. So rook f2. So he plays rook f2. Queen e6. Does that move? Okay, let's play king g8 here. Now he plays rook f2. Bishop f8 or to evict the queen, bishop g7. I'm trying to don't know. I could try and evict this queen. Queen g5 hits g4 and d8. I'm losing more material. What about rook d7, queen g4, rook g7? It's queen f3. Ah, it just gets painful, doesn't it? Losing these pawns. What about rook? I don't know, there's rook f7. Well, there's queen e8 on take on f3. Okay. If I queen f3, there's queen e8 if I want it, to avoid the exchange of queens. Okay, queen e8. Then is there anything knight h4 or anything? We're just going back to the diagonal after. I'll try it. So knight h4. We're trying to undermine the centre with c5 as well. I'll stop this knight f6 business. So knight h4 here doesn't do anything. Queen c6, is that out of the question? Bishop d5. Looks pretty grim actually. I could just wait here for a sec, see what he's doing. He's got an optimal position, all this pressure on the f file, huge knight on e4, but it's pinned for a moment. Or is it he could play check, takes. No, there's no. Okay, there's an interruption of the bishops on f3, otherwise f7, etc. So at the moment, bit of time pressure now. Oh, he's gone for that. Okay, he's going to take with the queen. So, don't know. Bishop d5, is that a move? Looks pretty grim. Looks very grim. Bishop h6 seems to be winning. So maybe it's time for queen c6. Just lose the queens. Yeah, rather than my king. E6, that's queen h1. So he's going to take the queens off. Giving back in exchange. That's interesting. Okay, I'll take an exchange. Get a blockade on d5. So knight d5. Okay, I'm lots of pawns down. 4 pawns down. But that was an interesting decision to lose the exchange. Okay. 5 pawns down coming up. So rook g4. And there's rook e4. Clearly this is the best position I've had for ages, 5 pawns down. Well, oh dear. I thought the opening was really good. What a mess was made of this. It's a shame. So rook a6. There's b4. It's sort of trapped in this bishop. Get my king to e6 or to help blockade. Okay, little plans here. Get the rook over to f8. Or f7 is a light square instead. What, over here first? Hang on. No. So rook f3. Alright, maybe rook a7. b4. Then there's nothing. So rook a7, b4, absolutely nothing. No swindle chance. Okay. Looking grim. I wonder if c5 does anything. What about this? Knight e7 to f8. No, there's rook f6. Not good. Or was rook h7 just to be annoying? Two minutes. Can you finish me off in 2 minutes? Try and get blockade for a moment. So g6 maybe. Try and get pawn back. There's rook f3, there's rook h4. But then it's probably worth it to get his rook on the f file here. He's coming down to a minute. This could be an exciting finish. g7, king f7, rook g3, king g8. It's still looking grim. My knight's on g8 though. So if I take on h4, there's also bishop g5. Stick the knight on g8 for a moment. Mind you, then I can't move anything. Oh there. That wasn't hot. Actually, I'm attacking. There was method there. Hang on. Oh no, there wasn't method there. Let's go back here then. There's still a move for the rook, just about, and he's down to 55 seconds. Oh dear. He's going to play h5 sadistically, isn't he? Not to give me a rook move to g6. I think you should speed up here. 5 seconds to move. How many moves will I have to last? Another 5 seconds. So we're talking 30 seconds. It'll be annoying with the checks. Knight sitting on the blockade square. No, he cannot be seriously spending 5 or 6 seconds a move here. There's no rook c4 check for rook c3. I have to get back to this other pawn. How weird. How weird. That was intense. How is this possible? Really? From this position? these weird queen moves all the time. A4 to E4 to A4 back to C2. Okay, he won the exchange, and then I had a lost position. Yes. It's just too early in the morning. Then he gave back the exchange. Okay, he was a few pawns up, and then couldn't finish me off in time. But not the greatest, I know. But comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks so much.